Time will help you see. Another way is not too late to find eternity. Oh,
You're much more than rockabilly, I think, unless you have a different definition of rockabilly.
No, I'm not. Rockabilly is what got me into alternative music, if you like, or music that wasn't mainstream on the radio. So rockabilly, I owe it a lot because it introduced me to all kinds of music. And it was the first music as a teenager that set me soul on fire, if you like. That was the first time I'd had that feeling inside, you know, when you hear music and you just go, ah. So that's what rockabilly did for me. And then through rockabilly, I discovered country and blues, you know, a lot of Hank Williams stuff. We did a lot of country, bluesy, gospel stuff, and then I got into the gospel, the blues. From that I got into jazz. From that it just went on and on and on.
When you are doing the rockabilly thing, it's real.
I love the passion of it. Early on I was told to take the rockabilly bit out. When I was talking to record companies, I was told,
Good Lord.
If you go down the jazzier route, you'll do better, and take that out because it's the kiss of death. And that, being a stubborn Irish woman, that made me want to do it more, but it also made me curious as to why they would say that about such an influential music.
Yeah.
Who, you know, without rockabilly, you wouldn't have a lot of what you have now. You wouldn't have rock and roll, you wouldn't have punk rock.
Sure.
It opened the doors for rebelliousness and that aggression, you know, that you still get now. And a lot of players all over the world, from Jeff Beck to Paul McCartney, cite rockabilly as they
Sure.
wanted to be rockabilly players.
Sure. Do you see these executives anymore? Do you see them at social events and you tell them, see, you advised me to go?
Well, actually, I'm signed to that record label because it started to kick off, and I was doing gigs around, and there was a buzz started to happen. They did me a favour, really, because
Right.
I got to go make an album that I wanted to make.
Right.
I had no record company, I'd no pressure, I'd no time limit, although I did record it in about a week, or a couple of weeks or so, because we were on tour, and but I didn't have no kind of anybody breathing down my neck or anything. So I got to make the album that I wanted. The people started to come. We'd gig to 20 people, then the next week it'd be 40, then it'd be 80, it was 100, 300, and it started to do that quite quick. And we were on the Jules Holland, later with Jules Holland
Sure.
music show in England, and the very next day the phones were hopping, and there was a few record companies calling, and one of those were the ones that turned me down.
Isn't that funny?
And they said, what we didn't get about you know, a few months ago, we really get now. Can we talk?
Great.
So lucky I'm not bitter. I just said, yeah, sure, let's have a chat.
Now, I saw you, and my eyes just about popped out of my head when I saw you the first time. You were a little tent in Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
But the next night, you sang with Jeff Beck, and you've done some work with Jeff. How did you meet up with him? How did you guys decide that? I know he loves that kind of music, but
Jeff is terrific. Yeah, Jeff does. Jeff is a big Cliff Gallup fan, who was Gene Vincent's guitarist. Yeah. I rescued a crow. I called the crow Dave. Took the crow on tour with me, and this crow, it was it grew from that size to this size and sat on my shoulder. And we were at a festival. We were opening up for Jules Holland, and we were in Jeff's area. Jeff came down to see us and Jules, and Jeff's wife Sandra is a wonderful woman that rescues animals and birds. She just happened to have an aviary become free, and she saw me with my crow, and I happened to need somewhere to put Dave the crow, because I couldn't, I wanted to let him back to the wild. So Jeff and Sandra said to me and my husband Darryl, why don't you come to the house tonight, and then you can see the aviary, because I was crying at this stage. You know, I didn't want to let Dave go after hand wearing him for 3 months. Sure. So they said, come to the house, have a look at the aviary, see if you're happy. So we went to the aviary. I said, yeah, that's bigger than our house. I'm sure he'll be happy. And then they said, stay. So we stayed for a few nights, had a jam session with lots of brandy in front of a big fire, and then Jeff said, that's it, we have to work together.
Oh, isn't that fabulous?
So if it hadn't been for Dave the Crow, I don't know if we would have got together. Certainly not that quick, I don't think.